They say every politician has a story, but some stories are rooted not in power, but in soil, water, and survival. And this is the story of Doug LaMalfa, a man who rose from the rice fields of Northern California to the halls of the United States Congress. A figure praised as a voice of rural America by his supporters and criticized as a symbol of resistance to change. By his opponents, Doug LaMalfa was born on July 2, 1960 in Oroville, California, into a farming family whose life revolved around agriculture, water rights, and land. His parents were rice farmers, and from a young age, Doug worked in the fields, learning firsthand what it meant to depend on nature, weather, and government policy for survival. This upbringing shaped his worldview deeply. He did not grow up dreaming of Washington power corridors, but of protecting farmland family businesses and rural livelihoods. Unlike many career politicians, Doug LaMalfa did not follow an elite academic or legal path. Instead, he stayed close to his roots, managing his family rice farm and becoming a businessman. His daily life exposed him to the challenges faced by American farmers: rising costs, strict environmental regulations, water shortages, and increasing government control. Over time, he grew frustrated, believing that policymakers in urban centers were making decisions that ignored rural realities. This frustration became the fuel that pushed him toward politics. In the early 2000s, Doug LaMalfa entered public life, and in 2002, he was elected to the California State Assembly, where he quickly built a reputation as a firm conservative voice, advocating lower taxes, limited government, and strong support for agriculture. He opposed policies that he believed harmed farmers and small businesses, and aligned himself closely with Republican Party principles. His tenure in the state assembly strengthened his political base among rural voters and agricultural communities. In 2008, Doug LaMalfa moved to the California State Senate, where his positions became even more pronounced. He emerged as a vocal critic of environmental regulations, particularly those related to water usage and climate policy. He argued that such laws were destroying farms, eliminating jobs, and weakening food production. His rhetoric often sparked controversy, but also solidified loyalty among constituents who felt unheard by mainstream politics. By 2012, Doug LaMalfa was ready for the national stage. He ran for the United States House of Representatives and won, representing California's 1st congressional district, a vast, largely rural region of Northern California. When he entered Congress in 2013, his voice carried the same message he had championed for years: limited federal authority, strong property rights support for gun ownership, tough immigration enforcement, and unwavering advocacy for farmers and ranchers. In Congress, Doug LaMalfa consistently opposed climate change legislation, questioning its economic impact and scientific framing. He resisted green energy mandates, criticized environmental activist groups, and defended traditional energy and agricultural industries. He was a strong supporter of the Second Amendment and opposed stricter gun laws, even after mass shooting tragedies, arguing that such measures punished law-abiding citizens rather than criminals. On immigration, he supported stronger border security and opposed policies he believed encouraged illegal entry, drawing sharp criticism from human rights organizations. Throughout his career, Doug LaMalfa was no stranger to controversy. Environmental groups labeled him obstructive civil rights. Advocates accused him of lacking compassion, while political opponents described him as out of step with modern America. Yet his supporters saw something very different. To them, he was authentic, grounded, and unafraid to challenge Washington elites. They viewed him as a farmer first and a politician second, someone who spoke plainly and defended rural communities against what they saw as overreach from federal institutions. Outside politics, Doug LaMalfa remained closely tied to his family and agricultural life. He was married, a father of 4, and often emphasized that farming was not just his background, but his identity. He repeatedly stated that his decisions in Congress were guided by the people who worked the land, not by party leadership. In January 2026, the news of Doug LaMalfa's sudden death shocked the political world. His passing immediately made headlines and triggered widespread discussion across media platforms. His death had real political consequences, reducing the Republican majority in the House and reigniting debates about the future direction of conservative politics. In rural America, Doug LaMalfa's legacy remains deeply divided. To some, he was a defender of farmers and traditional values. To others, he represented resistance to environmental progress and social change. But regardless of perspective, his impact is undeniable. His journey from rice fields to Congress reflects a powerful narrative about identity ideology and the enduring divide between urban and rural America. Doug LaMalfa's life reminds us that politics is not shaped only in capitals and committees, but also in fields, farms and communities where policies are felt most directly. Whether admired or criticized, his story remains a significant chapter in modern American political history.